we're not all gonna make it. So Pokemon has announced that Pokemon Bank will no longer support transfers up to home coming February 25th, 2027. And I'm trying really hard not to like crash out about this because like I knew deep down that Pokemon Bank was gonna come to an end because like it's a 3DS app that you can't buy anymore. And I'm sure there's actually not many people still paying the $5 a year. I don't even know if you can still pay the $5 a year. I might be doing it. I might not. I don't know. There's no way that it was going to last forever. But ahead of the like next generation of Pokemon, the Switch 2 games, it feels very like, oh no. So Fire Red, Leaf Green are on the Switch. In October, you're going to be able to bring them into home. You're not going to put them back into the game, which sucks, but that's how these kind of older gen transfers work. And we'll probably get Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald eventually. We have Diamond and Pearl with Brilliant Diamond and Pearl, Shining Pearl, even though I don't think those are, I would consider them good alternatives, nonetheless, video games. Gen 5, you can catch a lot of those guys in the Blueberry Academy. It's weird, because, like, the 30 years of Pokemon that have existed, it's been really comforting to know that you can bring a Pokemon from Gen 1 to Gen 8 and onward. Like, yeah, it's Red Virtual Console, but, like, it's actually not that hard to get a Game Boy Pokemon Red or Blue or Gold or Silver or Crystal save onto the Virtual Console. You're not supposed to be able to do that, but like it's something you can do. And it's just insane to think that any playthroughs I start of Black and White or X and Y, games that are just got like heavily paid reference to less than a year ago, if you start a new playthrough of those games today and you do not transfer those Pokemon up by February, they are stuck in those games forever. And like X and Y and Sun and Moon are like screwed. Gen 1 and 2 on Virtual Console can trade with each other through the time travel thing, the time travel capsule, the time capsule. Gen 3 can trade with Gen 3 and can trade up to Gen 4. Gen 4 can trade up to Gen 5. That's all going to stay working. You can bring a Torchic from Ruby into Black and White 2. That will stay working, because that wasn't something that required the internet. And it's kind of insane to think that just so our Pokemon could have DRM on them, have a little home flag, now that's just no longer possible. As far as I understand it, you will not be able to, through whatever means possible, illicit or official, be able to bring a Pokemon from Gen 7 to 8 now, come next year. And that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy to me, because, like, dude, what about Spinda? Like, I know we're probably gonna get Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, but like Spinda, you can't get him in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. You can't bring him into home. If I don't buy the Emerald ROM for $25, I will, because I'm a bad consumer. I don't practice what I preach. But like, how am I supposed to get Spinda, man? You can't transfer him in from Pokemon Go. Are they gonna fix that? No. You're just screwed. You're actually just screwed, and it's crazy. Because there's so much like Pokemon content that is just going to become unviable. Like Ribbon Master content? What do you do? Like, actually, what do you do? Because, yeah, you catch your cool Pokemon that's one of a kind in Pokemon XD or Colosseum, and you get the Shadow Ribbon, and you do this, and you get to that, and you get to that. And then you get up to Gen 7, and you're done. You can hack in a new one in Gen 8 with all the same ribbons, but it's not the same guy. It's not the same Pokemon. Like, even if you get everything exactly right, you know it's not the same guy. What do you do there? You catch a new Golduck in Gen 8 and just get half of the ribbons on that guy, and then in post composite the two ribbon stat screens together? Like, what do you do? It's I don't know what's gonna happen here. And like, I knew that this was gonna happen, but like, I personally have a complete home dex. I don't have a living dex, and I want to have a living dex, but I have a home. I have a home dex. My last Pokemon was I think a Gorbis from Ultra Sun and Moon. I have a deposit of every Pokemon from every Pokemon game in home. So I got the Magernia. I'm not worried about that. But I wanted to make a living dex with like my OT because I thought it'd be cool. I wanted to make an Origin dex where I catch all 151 in Kanto, and then all 251 in Johto. I wanted to do that stuff, and I want to do that stuff still. But it's hard to want to, knowing that there's kind of a finite limit to how long I can take on that. Like what? It's August. We got 6 months. You got 6 to 7 months. You got about a month for each generation. And like with Worlds coming up, not a lot of people are going to be like actively sitting down every day and going, I got to go get a bunch of Pokemon and Red and Blue right now, or else I'm not going to be able to have an Origin dex. And like, this is the like very finest tooth of collecting, but there's so much stuff that's going to be missing out. Like, you can't shiny hunt Celebi anymore. Once Crystal is disconnected from the rest of the series, you can't. I mean, oh my god, there's gonna be so many hunts. You can't do basically any. Like, the shiny Ho I have in my Heart Gold. I gotta transfer him up, or he's stuck in here. And like, being stuck in Heart Gold is not a bad life for a shiny Ho, but like, gosh. Is it an dupe thing? Because, like, this is the sort of thing that I think is just going to encourage people to try and hack the Switch 2 faster. And I don't want that. I love living in a world where Pokemon games can release and I don't know everything about them. This feels like a really bad move if you want to prevent people from trying to hack your console. There's, like... Maybe the servers are expensive, but I'm sure there's some goodwill that is worth kind of wasting money on. What are my personal plans for this whole oncoming rapture? I know me and Hazel wanted to stream Sun and Ultra Moon, or Sun and Ultra Sun, or Moon and Ultra Moon, or whatever, in parallel, where I was playing one and she plays the other and we compare the story differences. That'll be fun. I want to do that. I have wanted an excuse to stream Gen 1 and 2. I guess it's a good time to have a capture card. Gosh. What do you do? There's so much to do. Like, if you want any shiny Pokemon in these games, you have to start that hunt today and hope you get lucky in the next 7 months. And you might, but you might not. And like, again, I think most Pokemon are fine staying in the game they are caught in. I think if you haven't transferred up like your childhood Pokemon up to the modern games, that's something worth doing. But if you start a Black and White save file March 1st, 2027, I don't think you'll be too hurt to know that those guys are stuck there forever. But they're also stuck there forever. Like, the choice with Pokemon of being able to bring them everywhere is gone. Things I guess I can say for origin marks, this is what I do with Pokemon Go marks, where I'll just transfer in the lowest stage and then evolve them. If you don't have the time to evolve a bunch of Pokemon in their native games, uh, say transfer up like 3 Charmander from Gold and Silver, and then evolve them in Scarvi, where it's way easier. Evolve your Charmeleon, evolve your Charizard. You'll still have 3 Crystal Origin Mark guys, but it was a lot easier to do the work in the modern games. I just don't know. I've wanted for a while to stream every Pokemon game and try and get a complete dex in each one, and that's fun, and I want to do that, but like the time limit is both a fun impetus to actually start doing it, but also it's really scary to know that anything you do in these games will now become an island that is just completely disconnected from the franchise as it continues. Like, you're not going to be able to see these guys in Winds and Waves if you don't get on it fast. The fact that this is going to happen, I presume, before Winds and Waves releases is kind of crazy. Because there are definitely going to be people who haven't played a Pokemon game since the 3DS, who see Winds and Waves and go, oh, switch to a Pokemon game. Let me see if my Pokemon are still available. And like, I'm sure that's a 0.1% of people. It's like the people that were like, I didn't get the email from Mojang and my Minecraft account got deleted. But it still shouldn't happen. I think the thing that really scares me is, to my knowledge, that you can't get around this with hacking. Because, like, you could transfer Pokemon from Gen 1 cartridge to Gen 1 Virtual Console pretty easily. And then you could connect them to Stadium. And you can get Pokemon from Coliseum and XD into Gen 3 games super easily. Like, I mean, not super easily, but you can get them in there pretty easily. I'm happy I have a GameCube now, and I can play XD and Colo, but like, God, it's so crazy that the Ori region is completely island off from the real games currently, because it's on Switch Virtual Console and not. Dude. Oh, this is so... I'm really trying not to crash out about this. Because, like, all of the solutions I'm pitching is play more Pokemon. Like, that's... I'm falling right into to the Pokemon Company's devious trap. I'm going to be at Worlds. I have so many Pokemon behind me right now. I love these guys. I'm going to keep loving these guys. But, like, man... It just sucks. It sucks really hard. What if I name like a Rattata like Bud Light today, and I don't get around to transferring until February? Bud Light would be trapped in my game forever. That's horrific. It would be a bad life to be a Bud Light trapped in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I have to finish my shiny Rattata hunt. Oh, shit. Happy 30 years, Pokemon!